I recently had the chance to try the Summerboard SBX with the V2 electronics. It's an e-skate with the same 6-wheel design as a Freeboard, which is supposed to emulate snowboarding on dry roads. Loads of snowboarders use these boards in the summer when there's no snow, and we've spent the last year and a half trying to figure out how to use them. This is 2024's version of the board, and it's currently the newest version available. We got to ride it in the mountains of Switzerland, and given the fact that all of the problems that I had last year with the board have been solved with these new electronics, it was then clear coming back from the Freeboard trip that we needed to pick up a Summerboard. And the best part is that we finally got one. So join me today as I go over my comprehensive first impressions of the 2024 Summerboard SBX. We are going to be pushing it to the absolute limits in the first 2 days of riding it. We'll see what exactly you can do with the Summerboard SBX, how this year's version differs from last year's version, and we'll go through the whole unboxing process so that you know exactly what you would be getting if you ordered your own Summerboard. There's going to be speed, crashes, and everything in between. I am so excited to show you guys this video. Let's get straight to it. So after testing the V2 Summerboard in Switzerland, I got straight to contacting Summerboard to explain that I thought the new board was absolutely incredible and that I'd love to make more videos about it. To which Aaron Aders effectively said, sure, we'll sponsor you and send you over a pro pack. And so here we are. And so I have to say a massive thank you to Summerboard for sending us this. Alright, so it is a big day. We have just received our parcel from Summerboard and we're going to be unboxing it. It's a Summerboard pro pack which goes for around $2,000. I'm so stoked. So thank you very much to Summerboard for sending this. I can't wait to see what you can actually do on this board. I've wanted one for so long. So now the day has finally come where we get to unbox a brand new Summerboard SBX. So let's get straight to it because I want to put it on charge so that we can ride it as soon as possible. I love how the box has the Summerboard branding on it. I think that's really, really cool. Like, you know, going around the world and you've got that sweet Summerboard branding. They definitely are on another level with brand awareness, I think. Destroying my fingers trying to unbox it. Whoa. Nice. Oh man, I've been so excited. I'm sure if you end up buying your own Summerboard, you'll feel the same thing, just waiting eagerly for it to come through their FedEx post. It actually came a lot quicker than I thought. Woo! Oh my fuck, that looks... Damn, we've got the foamies. That is sweet. Oh, it just looks so clean. Man, I think it's the most advanced electric skateboard, like by design, that exists, I feel. Oh man, it's got the new freshies as well. Aaron Aders, you're an absolute dude. I cannot wait to make so much Summerboard content. This is so sick. And see what this thing can do. There is just so much potential to see whether you can snowboard to work without any snow. I mean... That is cold. It's cold, isn't it? It's serious machinery. I mean, look how thin it is. Yeah. Like how? How did they... Oh man, it's just crazy. And for any of you guys that saw the original videos, I was running with the V1. This is now the 2024 Summerboard, has new electronics like a new motherboard and battery. So as far as I'm aware, all of the problems that we had are completely solved with this board. We'll be getting it on charge straight away so that we can get to riding as soon as possible. The package came with a few extras like the foothold set and the padding to put on top of them, and also the foamies, which are a kind of foot stopper that you put on the board if you don't want to use the hooks. I personally probably won't use them very often, but I can definitely see the appeal for someone who's quite scared of falling over and who wants the complete comfort of being able to jump out. It's another nice innovation coming from Summerboard for the road snowboarding design, so props to them for trying to make the sport more accessible. And once the batteries were charged, we were ready to try out the Summerboard. The spot for day one would be a very wide, smooth and completely flat car park. We headed over through some residential roads to get there, and I think if you've never freeboarded before and you're picking up a Summerboard, a car park is a perfect place to learn. Alright, so this is our Summerboard SBX first impressions, sort of re-review from last time. We've got the brand new SBX with the V2 parts, and we have been having an absolute blast with that. I mean, Brandon, I think your reaction was priceless.
Yeah, I might need to get one, mate.
Brandon has never actually tried a Summerboard before. I'm honestly blown away by how good he is with the Summerboard. I really don't think I was there when I tried it the first time. Just goes to show, if you want to learn to Summerboard, you can always learn to freeboard first. It is a lot of fun, so we're going to get some follow-through runs and yeah, put the SBX to the test. We started by just riding around the car park, trying to pick up a bit of speed and doing some spins, all kind of stuff like that, a bit of riding in switch. It was a nice little warm-up and it started to feel much better riding on the Summerboard than it did last year. Especially with regards to the weight, it felt far easier to spin than it ever did before. And to be honest, the difference between this and freeboarding is actually a lot smaller than I thought.
Mental, bro. I'm so giddy. It's so
You're like, oh, I want to do it to work?
I want to get one to go to work on it. It's fast. It's really fast. Like, I've not gone full speed yet.
Okay.
I'm like, just testing it, just testing the speed.
Yeah.
It's time for some speed!
Are you alright?
Yeah, I think I got a chatter.
Yeah, I saw that. Fuck.
For those of you that are new to the wonderful world of road snowboarding, a chatter is basically when the centre wheel starts spinning uncontrollably. It happens on both freeboards and summerboards, and when it does happen, it can be quite stressful. What happened here is I got a front foot chatter, likely from putting too much weight onto one wheel while crouching down here and then hitting a bump. What I did wrong was trying to stand up very quickly once I sensed the chatter. I probably would have been better off staying low down. Luckily this bail wasn't too bad, and we got back to trying to pick up some speed. It was a fantastic first day of riding and we didn't experience any of the issues that I had last year. And I think with the extra practice that I had with Stella over in Switzerland, the board really does feel so much more like freeboarding than I thought before. It's not difficult to rotate and it spins very quickly, and the motors don't cut out midway through doing the spins, which was something that I experienced last time. So honestly, props to Summerboard. It really does look like they've fixed the problems that I experienced last time, and I was stoked to get going with the board again on day number 2. Alright, so it is day 2 with the 2024 version of the Summerboard SBX, just tuning out with the earphones and riding along all of these cycle paths, which are incredibly smooth and a lot smoother than any of my local roads. It really did feel like bringing all of the downhill freeboarding events to my local spots. And I even found that my back foot, just like when I go on the events in Greece, Switzerland and France, was really aching by the end of it, which I never get when freeboarding around my local spots. So honestly, props to Summerboard. This thing is an absolute blast and I cannot wait to try it out again today. We burnt through 2 rounds of the battery yesterday, and I'm hoping to go through even more today. So let's see what we can get. Let's go. So we headed off to a nice smooth cycle lane to Summerboard in the sun. We put some music on and completely tuned out. It is amazing going from freeboarding around 40 to 50% of the time that you spend outside to 100%. I just grab the Summerboard and go out and burn through the whole battery, and there's no kind of walking around carrying around the board, plus there's so many more spots which I can ride on. It's not just the spots I've gone down 1,000 times now, it really feels like my whole local area is opened up for downhill freeboarding. I should clarify that I have been freeboarding a lot in the last year and a half, and so if you're completely new to freeboard or Summerboard, I would say don't expect to be riding through your city, especially if there are cars, within the first 6 months. But absolutely don't let that discourage you, because although these boards are difficult to learn, they are incredibly fun once you feel comfortable with them. And that holds unequivocally for both freeboard and Summerboard, and they are unbelievably underrated in my opinion. And you can even overtake cyclists with just as much control as them with the Summerboard. I mean, how cool is that? And then you can throw a nice little 360 in front of them to blow their minds as to how the skateboard moves like that. So day 2 was fantastic. I think we burnt through around 2 batteries again, and because I'd been riding the Summerboard so much, for day 3 we actually had to rotate the wheels. Okay, so we are on day 3 of testing the Summerboard SBX, and I'm not sure if you can see this in the camera, but hopefully you can see that the wheels are starting to wear down on the sides. Now, given the sorts of distances that you can go on one single battery of the Summerboard, it's not surprising that you tend to wear down the urethane quite quickly. But there is actually a method of fixing this problem. In particular, you just need to flip the wheel like that, and also do a diagonal swap. For example, swapping this top right wheel with the bottom left wheel. I got this tip from one of Aaron's Summerboard guides, of which there are many, and so if you need any kind of information on how to set up your Summerboard or how to ride it, definitely check out their series. They've got so many good high quality videos on that. Either way, I'm going to get straight to swapping them out so that we can do a lot of riding on day number 3. And so as you can see, I've swapped the wheels out diagonally and also rotated them. And so hopefully we can start wearing down the thicker side of the wheels, and then the whole cycle will repeat. This board is incredibly heavy. After a few days with the Summerboard, it really is quite straightforward to transfer your skills from the Freeboard. So yeah, we're now on day 3 of riding the Summerboard, and I've just burnt through about half the battery. We're in the middle of one of the spots that I'm practicing in, you know, practicing switch, doing all of these things. And one of the biggest benefits that I'm finding of riding with the Summerboard is that it's almost like it's bringing downhill freeboarding to all of my local spots, because actually the areas that are near where I live aren't particularly long, and I've never felt the same sense of exhaustion that I do on a freeboard trip when I'm in England, because the fact is the spots near me, unless you drive very far and you have someone to give you lifts up, aren't particularly long, and so you're never really going to tire yourself out. But then comes the Summerboard, which has a crazy range like 12 miles, which basically means that you can bring downhill freeboarding to all of your local spots. That for me has been the biggest upside of this board, and I've thoroughly enjoyed coming back home with my back foot feeling totally exhausted. I think that it's a fantastic way to practice for the freeboard trips where you're going to be riding a lot of the day, doing multiple runs that are probably equivalent to a battery on a Summerboard. So it has been a fantastic 3 days trying the Summerboard, and I cannot wait to see what is possible. One of the questions that I really want to answer, which I think is on everyone's mind, is whether you can commute through a city using the Summerboard. Now obviously we kind of know you can because Stella does it in Paris, but these runs aren't really recorded in much detail. And other than that, we've got Yeti Riding, who made a video some years ago going through how he does it in New York, which was a great video, but I'm hoping that we can find out for ourselves whether this is also possible. So definitely stay tuned if you're interested in that. We'll be figuring out whether it's feasible to drive with cars, whether it's actually any fun to do it, whether it's any quicker than going on a bike, and so many other kinds of questions like that, to decide whether it's finally possible to snowboard to work. So those are my first 3 days thoughts of the Summerboard SBX. I hope that you've enjoyed the video, and definitely stay tuned for more if you did. Otherwise, I hope you have a good one.